What's up guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. We're going to be talking all things biz. So yeah, I haven't really talked much about business here on my channel, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. On the daily I get asked all sorts of questions about like my business and starting a business and everything like that, so I thought I would answer a few questions for you guys. I did a little bit of a question box on Instagram ages ago. I just haven't been gotten around to filming it. You guys know things have just been hectic, so I'm finally sitting down and doing it now. And to be honest, I'm always learning something new. Oh, that I'm silent. I'm learning something new every single day. So it's like every day I feel like I have another piece of advice. So I mean, like in a month's time I'll probably have a new whole list of things to tell you guys, but we'll sort of go from what I have now. So I'll just pull up a few of the questions. So for those of you who aren't already aware, I'll just give you like a little bit of a background story. So I own a skincare brand called by Nelly. I will leave a link down below if you want to check it out. It is basically an all natural handmade skincare and hair care and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I pretty much do that all by myself. I basically don't really have any help besides, you know, Ben helps me sometimes, Mum helps me a lot, that kind of thing, but it's basically just me doing everything. I don't really outsource a lot, so just to give you a bit of an idea of like what I do. And I launched my business in 2016, so this year in November will be 4 years since I've launched. So the first question I have here, did you fund your entire business? And then I have heaps of other questions actually that sort of like ask about funding and if I got investors or anything like that. So I, funded my entire business on my own. I was 19 when I started. So, I mean, I had a bit of savings and it was basically like, right, you can put this savings towards a house deposit or towards a business. And I always knew that I wanted to start a business and I wanted to be my own boss, and it's just something I've always wanted to do. So, you know, everyone has their different like priorities in life, and mine basically was to put everything I had into a business. So I did that because it was quite expensive to start, and the thing was it's not like I was buying products and reselling them. I was making, well, I still am making everything. So it's a lot more complex that way because you need to buy, you know, all your packaging, you need to do all your labeling, you need to buy ingredients, like things to make it with, like all of that. It's not just as simple as buying something and then reselling it. Like there's a lot more sort of elements to it. So it was a lot more expensive that way. And also I feel like I did the mistake of doing too much at once. So instead of maybe launching with like 2 products or 5 products or even 10 products, I think I launched with maybe 25 products-ish. I actually don't know exactly. I'm going to count them and I'll put them on the screen, but I started with a lot of different products and a lot of variants and stuff. So, I mean, since then, like I always am constantly growing and launching new things, but it would have been a lot easier to start with less and then grow. But to be honest, at the same time, I don't regret it because I feel like having more of a variety in talking business makes more money because people buy more and it's a lot easier to upsell and that kind of thing. Whereas if you only have one product, people are only buying, you know, the one thing. Whereas if you've got like 20, people are more likely to buy more. So another question, I'm sort of trying to do these like so they all kind of like make sense. So how did you start your business? So I'm just gonna like start from the start and then we'll kind of like keep going on. So I actually have spoken about this before, but if you didn't know, I pretty much started from having a huge passion for makeup and skincare. And because I was a makeup artist, I was very, very passionate about skincare because obviously like your skin is your canvas for good makeup. And I worked at Priceline at the time and I was the biggest skincare junkie. Like, oh my God, every day I was trying something new. And the thing was though, I was very sensitive. Like I've always had skin problems. I, you know, had acne when I was a teenager. Now I'm, you know, I've got autoimmune, which, I mean, skincare products can only do so much for that because it's obviously internal, but I've always just had like skin issues that like there's just never been anything out there that was able to help. And yeah, being sensitive, everything was giving me like reactions and stuff like that. And especially like growing up, like into holistic health and natural products and that kind of thing. I was always going for the natural side of things until I discovered that half the shit I was using wasn't even natural. So that's when I sort of started playing around with my own little concoctions to make for myself, because it was kind of like, you know, there was a gap in the market. There was just nothing like what I wanted or what I needed for my skin. And I was like, well, surely I'm not the only one that thinks that. And I remember me and like mum were always playing around with like little concoctions, and then we'd give it out to family and friends, and they'd be like, wow, this is actually really good, you should sell this. So we're like, I think we're onto something here. So that's how it all sort of started. And then from there, so it basically took a whole year from start to finish. So basically the idea sort of came up, and then it was all about like making up the recipes and testing the recipes and all that kind of thing, like going through that whole process. It's a lot harder than you would think. It's like baking. You need to sort of like change things, add things, take things away, do all these different things all the time until you get it perfect. So that was, yeah, a long process of doing that. And then of course like sourcing packaging. We basically get our packaging from a manufacturer, and then I actually designed all of the labels. So everything I designed myself. Like I didn't get a graphics designer or anything like that. Like I designed every single thing myself. I just send it over to my printer company and they print it. And then plus I did my whole website by myself. So from start to finish, like that, plus like photography, everything. Like I've never outsourced for anyone. So obviously it was a lot more time consuming doing it that way, but it also saved a lot of money. And I'm a bit of I like to dip my toes into everything. So I kind of like doing it all myself, because then it's done the way that I like it, because I'm a perfectionist. But I also enjoy it. I like being a part of every single stage. So yeah. How did you find manufacturers? So pretty much just, yeah, a lot of research as well. But I'll actually have to give this one to my mum, because we obviously have a family business, and she's like got contacts with manufacturers and stuff like that. So she was like amazing. She basically reached out to all the manufacturers. I basically just said, this is what I want and this is what I want it to look like. If you can sort of like, you know, go find something like that. So she would do that. Otherwise, for like all our ingredients and that kind of thing, just lots of research, trial and error. I would buy little bits and pieces from multiple manufacturers and companies, and then just sort of like, you know, try them out, just like with anything really. And still to this day, I'm constantly like trying new ones. I've got a few that like I love and I trust and that kind of thing. And then now with my packaging as well, because of COVID, everything's just all over the place. A lot of the factories like shut or like change their like pricing or their products and that kind of thing. So I've had to kind of start from the bottom again, just trying to like get all my packaging and stuff back. So it's just like a constant research. That's all I can say. How and where did you find suppliers? So yeah, basically the same thing, just tons of research. Google's your best friend. Just Google it. Honestly, just Google, like if you're looking for I don't know, dried flowers, just Google wholesale dried flowers, and then it comes up with heaps of options. And then just, yeah, read up about them, compare your prices, compare your quality, all that kind of thing. Get little bits and pieces from different places just to sample them, and yeah, go from there. I have so many about finding suppliers, it's crazy. What are your best startup tips? So yeah, the first one, basically like I said before, I would start less. So if I was to start another business, I would maybe start with like 1 or 2 or 3 products or something like that, and then sort of build my way up from there, because it's just so much easier to maintain. Even now, like I have that many products that it's so hard to keep everything in stock, because it's not like I can make like a massive batch of just one thing. Like I'm constantly making separate batches of different things, and because everything's handmade and made in small batches, like one batch is maybe between, depends how big the batch is, but one batch is between 20 to 50 products. And that can take a few hours sometimes depending on the product, because some are very, very fiddly. Some are super easy, but most of them are very fiddly. So yeah, they're all made in small batches. So if I'm selling, and this is just me doing it all by myself too. So if I'm selling out of something and then there's something else and there's something else, like at the moment at work, I've got a list and there was about 15 things that were either low stock or out of stock. And last night I think I got 3 of them back up. Mum's at work at the moment helping make some stuff, which I'm forever grateful for. There's just always, you know, constantly making different things, and it's so time consuming. And also with like promoting, like you can't just promote the fuck out of one product, like there's just so many. So yeah, I guess one of my tips would be to start small, and then obviously you can grow. And then as well, if you start small, you don't need that big of a budget as well. My second tip would be, don't outsource. Do everything, or as much as you can, by yourself. Obviously, if you don't have a professional camera or something like that, and you know, can't take professional photos, then try to get a photographer. But you don't have to go like all out and spend a crazy amount of money. Like get a student, or get someone who's like starting out building their portfolio, something like that. Rent a camera, do it yourself, borrow one off someone, or you know what I mean? Like try to do as much as you can yourself, because you might just think, oh, a few $100 here, a few $100 there. It all adds up. And when you are starting a business, you want to be able to keep as much in the business as you can, because you're obviously not making an income yet when you're starting. So yeah, major tip, because that helped me out so much, and it still does to this day. Like I do basically everything on my own, and you also learn so much by doing that. So you level up your skill set. Like I've gotten so much better at photography, at web design, like social media marketing, just like PR in general, like even just like emailing and that kind of thing. Like just the whole broad spectrum I've gotten so much better at. So I'm glad that I was sort of forced to do it all myself, because not only have I saved so much money, but I have learned so much, and I feel so proud of myself, because I'm like, wow, I did everything, you know what I mean? And I think my third main tip would be, I mean, I've got so many, but maybe we'll talk about them all in another video. Sorry, Teddy's sleeping on my lap right now. But my third biggest tip is, make sure what you are doing for the right reasons, and something that you're really passionate about. Like don't just go selling something random just to make money, because it's only going to be like a short-term thing, and you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to be invested in it, it's not going to be like a long-term thing. And that's what you want to do with business. You want to make it like a long-term, something that you can, you know, be really invested in, something that you can like grow with, and that kind of thing. So find something that you are super passionate about, something that like aligns with your values, something that you can truly sell with purpose, because I find that that is where the most successful businesses are. And also something that is different. So find like a gap in the market. There's no point in selling the same shit as everyone else, because why would someone buy from you when they can buy from a much bigger company, when it's the same thing, and they can probably sell it cheaper because they buy like 10 times more than you know what I mean? So find a point of difference and make it something that you are super passionate about, that you can see, that you can grow with, and that's something that you can really see like can become like your world, if that makes sense. That would probably be like the third most important tip. Do you believe in getting a business coach? To be honest, I think it depends on what kind of business coach is. I don't believe in those kind of business coaches that are like trying to sign you up to some courses that are like $1,000, and they're like, this is how you make $100,000 in a month, blah blah blah, by buying a product in China and drop shipping it and all this stuff, like quick money. Those things are just scams. And to be honest, even if you are doing that, you're not actually investing in yourself in like good, like, what's it called? Like good skills that you could actually put towards your business. Like you're basically just learning how to drop ship. You can Google that for free if you want to do drop shipping. But as I said, these are kind of like short-term, quick like things. You're not even involved in it at all. Like you don't even get to hold the product. You don't get to see it. Like I don't know. I would never do something like that. But I mean, yeah, other sort of business coaching, if it's something that gives you proper advice and skills and something that you actually take out of it, especially if you just have no idea about business at all. I'm lucky because my parents own a business, and I've been working there since I was like 17 years old, maybe even 16. So like I've always kind of been around it, and I kind of know like the gist of it. So if you have no idea, it might be good to get a business coach. But in saying that, there is so much free advice out there, especially on YouTube. So I would recommend searching that up first before you go and pay someone. Do you come across having to deal with men being intimidated by you running a business? Not really, like not that I know of. I think that like most guys that sort of like know that I have a business, they think it's like super cool. I don't know, like Ben's like super supportive of it. I remember my ex-boyfriend, because I was with him when I was like getting my business up and going. It wasn't like out yet. He was like very, I don't think he was intimidated, but he was very like jealous because my time was going into my business and not him. So it was just weird like that. But yeah, Ben is like super supportive. He totally understands that, you know, 90% of my energy goes into my work and my business because it's like my life, it's my future. So that is where most of my energy goes, and he's like totally cool with that. So, I mean, I don't know, there might be men out there that would be super intimidated by it, but I mean, I don't really go out and talk to them, so I don't really know. Okay, my battery is flashing, so I'm going to answer one more. Running your business, how long did it take for you to make enough so it was your only job? So pretty much not up until this year. So as I said, I've been running my business for 4 years now, 5 years if you kind of include the whole pre-business thing, but like officially 4 years. But the thing is, I never treated it like my full-time job. So you get out what you put into it pretty much. So when I started, it was just like a side hustle. I had like 2 other jobs at the time. I was so young. I was still sort of like, I was all about traveling, all about like, you know, being social. Like I was traveling so much. So it wasn't my full-time job. It wasn't like, you know, Monday to Friday, I'm, you know, working on my business, blah, blah, blah. Like it wasn't like that. It was just a side hustle. And it was like that up until maybe 2018. And then I went to uni. Then I started uni. Because I remember in, I think 2017, late 2017, I quit my job that I was in full-time because I was like, I'm gonna go into my skincare brand, give it 100%, go into it full-time. So I did that for like a couple of months, but then the opportunity of uni came up and I got accepted, and I was like, look, this is something I've always wanted to do. I'm young, I may as well just fucking do it because it just felt right at the time. So glad I did it. But again, that was 2 years that I wasn't focusing on my business because uni was my #1 priority. And so then when I finished uni, got back sort of on my feet, and then living in Melbourne and having my business here in Ballarat, it was really difficult because I was like constantly going back and forth, and I felt like, because obviously like living away from it, I was still able to do stuff because a lot of it has to do with computer work. Sorry if the lighting has changed a bit, guys. My camera died. My battery died, of course, so I had to go quickly charge it before I keep going. But pretty much what I was saying is, yeah, it's kind of like what you put into it, you get back in. So obviously, like previously it was just like a side hustle for me because I had other priorities, whereas now it's like an everyday, fucking 7 days a week. I won't even say Monday to Friday because it's every day. And yes, I'm putting in everything, but then I'm also getting that back out. So yeah, that's all the questions I have time for today. Let me know if you enjoy these kind of business chats, and maybe next time I can speak more about certain topics. So let me know if there's any topics that you sort of want me to go into a little bit more. If you're interested in starting your own business and you know, like me to cover some other things, because I know there's a lot of people out there that start businesses, but they're obviously got a lot more money to put behind them, or they've obviously, you know, they can afford to have other people be involved. But I think there'd be a lot of you that would be in my situation where you kind of just want to start something solo, you know, without investors and being able to have everyone do everything for you, because I mean, let's just be real, the normal person can't afford that. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you want to see anything else, what you want to see. And Teddy, stop biting my hand. Look at this fluffy, look at this fluff ball, hey? He got de-sexed the other week and I was meant to book him in to get his stitches out today, but Mummy forgot. So we'll have to go next week. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!